And for perspective, we are being joined by Dr. Shweta Singh. She is Associate Professor with the South Asian University. Dr. Singh, such a pleasure to have you on DD India. What would you say would be the topmost priority of the new Sri Lankan president?
Thank you, Munmun. I think one of the key challenges for the new president, and this is also the mandate on which he's come back, is actually reviving the economy. And that would be a huge challenge. How does he renegotiate, for instance, with the IMF? We'll have to watch. But, I want to go back in terms of his election manifesto, his campaign. And one of the things that he's laid emphasis is he's paid attention to the economic frustration that people have been facing in Sri Lanka. We all know how the Aragalaya shaped up and what was the push behind the Aragalaya. And I think the frustration in the context of the dwindling economy would be his topmost priority. How he addresses tax cut, how he looks at the question of, food, textiles, tea. This would be something which would be watched very carefully. How would he look at the social security system in the context of high, rising prices in the context of medicine? So I think what I want to come back to is that there would be an emphasis in the context of revival of the economy, paying attention to the poorest of the poor in the context of Sri Lanka. Because we all have to know that the left-leaning alliance that we are looking at, and he represents the JVP, class struggle and attention to politics of class is one of the key elements of the election agenda per se.
Dr. Singh, for starters then, what would be his first challenge? Because he had during his campaign, and I think even in the manifesto, it's mentioned that he would be renegotiating the terms of the IMF bailout, considering that there were several austerity measures that had to be rolled out under the interim government of Ranil Wickremesinghe before, as those were conditions for the IMF to give its bailout to Sri Lanka. So there was a spike in tax measures, public spending was curtailed. How would you look at that? Is that the first challenge then before him?
Yes, absolutely, Munmun. That's the first challenge. He's been very careful in terms of underlying that he will not pull out from the IMF deal that we are talking about, but he would look at renegotiation with vis-a-vis the IMF. Now, it's a very precarious kind of tight walk for him, because on one hand, he needs to balance the aspirations and the interests and the mandate on which he's come back to power. He's come back, he's won this election. On the other hand, we also have to understand the precarious situation of the Sri Lankan economy. So I think much remains to be seen. But one of the things that he's been talking about is the whole context of tax cuts. Now, how he structures this tax cut, especially around, as I said, essential items, would be something which would give a huge relief both to the lower middle class as well as the middle class and the poorest of the poor. So I think IMF, yes, but he would be careful, and I would say the challenge is in the balance. How he's able to strike that balance, because that's been part of his manifesto, but he's also been very clear that he would not do anything to destabilize the economy in Sri Lanka. And it's going to be a slow process now.
Yes.
It's going to be a slow process.
Dr. Singh, what do you make of his vision towards the neighborhood?
Very interesting. I think that's what we really need to carefully watch, because we have to go down in history a bit. We also need to see the democratic transition that has taken place in the context of his own party and the ideology that we are talking about. So just to take you back a bit in history, Aruna Dissanayake, represents the JVP. And the JVP, if you're looking at the ideological component of the JVP, Marxist in terms of its leanings, it's also led armed insurrections in the 1970s, early 1970s and the late 1980s. But then there has been a shift in the context of party politics. And Aruna Dissanayake has been at the forefront of this shift. So there has been a movement away from any kind of politics around violence to democratic transition. So that's one. Now, if I'm looking at the JVP historically has looked has had a very anti-India stance. I'm talking about out historically. Now, Anurag Dissanayake has been very careful. He's said that India is an important ally, is an important, it recognizes the dynamics of the region. We also need to pay attention to that he visited India. He met with the External Affairs Minister and also Ajit Doval. So India has also been carefully watching. So I think what we would really be keen to watch is how does he actually navigate between India and China? Because India and China has competing interests in the context of Sri Lanka. But that's one part of the story. From India's standpoint, there is also, recognition from Anurag Dissanayake that India has also been the first responder in many ways to Sri Lanka. We also have to look at India's role in the context of the response mechanism it had at the moment of the economic crisis 2022. So I think he's been careful to pitch that he would be mindful of Sri Lanka's national interest, but at the same time, he would also be mindful of the fact that India is there in the neighborhood. It's an important regional partner, and also both the countries actually share civilizational linkages. So I think for India's neighborhood first policy, India's Sagar doctrine, we'll have to carefully watch how he navigates this. Just on a slighter note, he's also talked about, because we have to look at, his leanings has been in the context of resurrecting the economy. So he's also talked about, in that context, looking at mechanisms for a corruption-free society, looking at crony capitalism. In that context, there have been, reports where he's talked about, for instance, re-examining the Adani deal that has been part of the wind power mills that we're looking at in the context of Sri Lanka. So I think a lot needs to be watched diplomatically as well as economically, both from the standpoint of India and Sri Lanka.
We'll leave it at that. Dr. Shweta Singh, pleasure to have you on DD India.